All right, welcome to episode 148 of my FX Buddies, the podcast. And I say podcast because there's a blog. Um, this one you might want to go to. There's a couple of good articles. And look, I'm posting consecutively. So yeah, this is good. This is good. It looks like they are definitely trying to get these auctions done. All right, so let's see. Um, Wherever you enjoy podcasts, look for my FX Buddies. I might be there, but definitely Apple Podcasts, um, RSS.com, Spotify.com has audio and video. And what else? Rumble. And then, of course, YouTube. And YouTube, everything that I show is covered under Fair Use Disclaimer Act because I'm using it for sharing, teaching, critiquing. So, yeah, let's just get into it. So, the title Expected Rise in the Dollar, Temporary Shock Awaits the Iraqi Market. So, this is like the third time, I think, that they're using the word shock. All right. Um, okay. So, this is a foundation for economic studies and consultations. And remember, they've been doing studies after study after study, right? We're studying the project to delete the zeros. We're studying the project to change the rate. Excuse me. So, I just thought it was fitting that, now it looks like we're getting close and they're talking about the studies. But an increase in the dollar exchange rate during the next few days following the announcement by the Central Bank of Iraq to stop the currency transfer window platform. And now, see, they act like they just announced that. It's been a while. A while. Anyway, so then this guy here is the head of the institute. And he says the suspension of the central bank's currency transfer platform, which was officially announced on December 23rd, will lead to a temporary rise in the dollar exchange rate in the market as a result of the prevailing state of fear. But things will return to normal within the beginning of the new year. So I like, yeah, he's saying the people are going to freak out. But once they see there's a method to this madness, it'll calm down for the beginning of the year. We hope so. Also, he added, this decision had been previously announced by the central bank, but such measures, when implemented, cause a shock to the market, leading to a temporary rise in the exchange rate before the shock is gradually absorbed. So I bolded this part. He explained that the difference between the official and parallel markets will remain, but it will shrink as the situation stabilizes. Yeah, because there's just going to be people. I'm one of those people. I just don't comply, right? I don't like change. I don't want to go digital. I'm just one of those people that are going to fight to the well, Oh, my battery's dying. Hold on. Is that okay? All right. So, let's see. Economic expert Tamimi on today. Economic expert Tamimi warned of a rise in the dollar exchange rate in Iraq in the coming days. There are real fears in the Iraqi market of the continued rise in the dollar exchange rate after the Central Bank of Iraq stopped working on the platform. So, see, that almost sounds like they're already done, right? But we know they're not because they keep posting the auction results every day. And today it was almost I think it was 293 plus million dollars that were sold. But I think they could be either preparing for, this shock, or they know they're going to be closed some days, so they're trying to get as much dollars as they can, but we'll see. All right, there are real fears in the Iraqi markets of the continued rise in the dollar exchange rate after the CBI stopped working on the platform. This will constitute a shock, especially at the beginning of implementing the decision, and will lead to a rise in the dollar to increase demand for it in the parallel market. We're almost done with this, but this is the meat, potatoes, stuffing, dressing, cranberry sauce. This is the reason I'm posting. Now, there's a whole bunch of other articles on here, but this is the one. Oh, no, you know what? Actually, there's two more. There's two more that I'm going to piece together. Okay. All right. So, while continuing to finance trade with Iran and Turkey, and see, they left out Syria again. This is what will lead to the rise, and therefore practical steps must be taken to prevent this by country's monetary authority, and urgently. I agree with that. I do agree they need to work urgently to stop the auctions and get right on that new system. So, the people will have faith, right? Because, citizens don't have faith in them, but the citizens will have faith that they're doing things like they say they're going to, and then actually going through the steps, right, to make sure that the currency doesn't crash. All right, so let's see. The CBI revealed on Wednesday. Yeah, that's just so. Yeah, September 4th is when they announced they were going to make the switch by the end of the year. Okay, let's see. This is a nice article. We're going to skip it though, but Parliamentary Committee Iraq is heading towards a major investment and economic boom during the next stage. Yay, 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 right? We like that. Um, so see all of that right there. Reconstruction, development. The next stage will show these successes more clearly through investment and economic prosperity at various levels. Here, now, normally I don't post stuff like this, but the Ministerial Council discusses the use of electronic payments for all electronic activities in the country. Remember, Sadani wanted that done, right? But there is one, I think it's this, Iraq to discuss and evaluate the mechanisms. No, let's see. Well, there's not that many. So, okay, the first paragraph is just saying everyone who's at the meeting. So I think it is this one. So, the statement added the council discussed the terms on its agenda and took the necessary decisions regarding them. It continued. The council hosted the Director General of Payments at the Central Bank of Iraq to discuss and evaluate the mechanisms for implementing the cabinet's decision to move towards using electronic payments instead of cash for all state institutions in the public and private sectors, and to study and expand this experience to include all economic activities throughout Iraq. Yeah, good luck with that. You don't just go cashless overnight, especially in a in a society where the people, what was it, 87%, 66, it was a really high percentage of people who still prefer cash. So yeah, all right. Details and figures about warnings of an impending economic collapse. How much is Iraq's external and internal debt? So this is a pretty good article, also one you should read, but we're not going to go through it. But again, they're saying the warning of an impending economic collapse is if they don't do what they say they're going to do. And let's see, Iraq is able to pay debts. Yeah, so stopping the dollar transfer platform, a calculated step or a risky adventure. So This is another one saying the Central Bank of Iraq is set to abandon the electronic platform for dollar transfers abroad by the end of this year, which is 7-8 days. So we'll get away from the U.S. Federal Reserve. We're abandoning that system, adopting a new system. See right here, adopting a new system that may contribute to reducing sharp fluctuations in the exchange rate and returning it to its normal levels that are consistent with the requirements of the local market and national economy. So then they talk about the old system a little bit more. Concern and reassurance. Here's another researcher saying stopping the transfer and limiting dollar transfers to a limited number of foreign banks may pose challenges to the local banking system, noting that this step may raise concerns about the concentration of dollar transactions in a limited scope, which may lead to effects on the stability of the exchange rate. So, yeah. All right, here, look at this. Saudi Arabia and Iraq discuss enhancing digital partnership between the two brotherly countries. So remember that, a digital partnership. Monday, they visited each other talking about enhancing digital partnership between the two countries. Enabling entrepreneurship with the aim of supporting innovation and enhancing the growth of the digital economy. So they want to go digital. There's my buy me a coffee. All right. Here Fitch is keeping Iraq at a B minus. You can read that mostly because they're still mostly reliant on oil. That's what they put in writing anyway. But here is an article about our troops. Now all of a sudden, Iraq may extend U.S. troop presence, right? What's happening in Syria? Okay, this is a really long article, but it's good. Here's the guy, right? Samir al-Nusari, but that's how he is. He writes really long articles, and again, he's going over, we're moving away from the old system of the U.S. Federal Reserve, and we're going to where Arab and international banks are approved open accounts for American, Chinese, European, Emirati, Indian, and Turkish correspondent banks. So they're probably already there, right? But they'll expand, probably open more banks, especially if nothing untoward is found to be done, right? If the audits find that everyone's doing what they're supposed to do, not smuggling, not money laundering, then they'll just get more and more banks involved. So there he's talking about the gold they have, inflation. So really a lot of good information there, right? Let's see. First, second, third. Yeah, so it's almost like a mini little textbook. But yeah, so I know not everyone's going to read that, but it's there. And then there's my buddy Hatham. So he did an article also, Central Bank Policy in Light of Banking Compliance with International Standards Between the Controversy of Expectations and Requirements. All right, so central bank policy. Yeah, so I read that. Now, he is talking about the debate raging. So because some people, well, there's people who just flat out don't want this. They don't want Iraq to move to this new system because no more money for them, right? They're or maybe they'll find a way, right? The bad people always find a way to do bad things, right? But I think at least it's not going to be as easy as it has been in the past. I'll say that. So beginning at the beginning of the next year in terms of connection with Iraqi Arab banks, with the correspondent American banks, which are who? Citibank, JP Morgan, probably others too, we just don't know about. Maybe they'll announce after. So he says, therefore we say in this regard and warn against the incorrectness of these opinions if we take them in good faith. So when I read this, I kind of get like he's saying, give it a chance, right? Um, we know we have to move. We have to go international. So give it a chance. Um, but even here, he talks about implementation of this measure is expected to contribute to the following: controlling money transfer operations and identifying the final destinations to which they will reach, and thus it will be a control joint in the pre-transfer stage instead of post. And we've heard that before, right? Before they checked after. Now it's getting checked before it even gets sent. And see, so the policy measure is linked to 6 Iraqi banks and Arab banks, which remember before they were complaining there was no local banks, but then just this week or this weekend, right? They switched to allowing local banks to participate. All right, so see, this is another long one, but if you could read it, it would be good. But and see here, they're talking. It concluded from the above, and according to the importance of the linkage and compliance step, that the private sector must be ready to start developing and financing the national economy and achieving the desired growth, especially after the American bank JP Morgan recently expressed its readiness to support Iraqi trade financing operations, which is the largest in size and solidity among global banks and has a major role in correspondence operations between banks worldwide. So, yeah, it's going to be good. I just put this here, like I said, these are the articles of the day, but Europe is displeased with trade volume. Yeah, I bet they are. They want more. All right, here, look at this. Sudani is considering inviting American companies to work in the port of Fala. I wonder what happened. Why now? But whatever, and I'm sure they'll jump on it. Oh no, um, 2 articles are missing. So hold on. All right, so this came out this morning. Dollar auction. What is the truth about stopping the central bank's platform for currency conversion? And if you just read the title, it seems like they're saying it's not going to stop, right? A responsible source in the CBI revealed on Monday evening the truth about stopping the CBI's platform for currency transfer starting today. So, no, they didn't stop it today, right? So that's the truth. It didn't stop today. There was an auction that worked normally. See, it says right there. And there is no official decision to suspend it so far. So, that doesn't sound right, right? Sounds a little scary, right? But that's why I wanted to save these for last, because I wanted to show you the more exciting one, right? So don't let this sway you. The source who requested anonymity, of course, this platform will be stopped at the end of this year. According to what the bank officially announced, this does not mean stopping transfer operations, as some are trying to promote. However, after this step, there will be direct dealings between banks and correspondent banks, and not canceling transfer operations as is being promoted. So, either someone who doesn't understand what's going to happen, or someone who wanted to cause problems did that. They, I didn't even look at social media today, but so they put out trying to, stir the speculators, stir the fear to make the dollar price go up, but it didn't work. The dollar price is still stable, 1,500 dinars per dollar. So, Yeah, it says the issue is not limited to specific banks, but rather the process will be much broader. So they are going to still do dollar transfers, just a new way. A new mechanism is usually what they would say, right? Okay, now this is very interesting. New conditions for the Central Bank of Iraq to buy and sell foreign currencies, and they have an official document right here. But of course, it's in Arabic. So let me just, there was a nice little thing here. The Central Bank of Iraq has set new conditions for buying and selling foreign currencies. They decided on Monday to allow exchange companies of the A and B category and brokerage companies of the C category to contract with digital payment service providers to provide digital withdrawal services. Now, I don't know what POC stands for because it's not point of sale, point of connection. I don't know. But anyway, providing that the agency is specifically in the name of the company and that the services are provided as headquarters and official branches exclusively with the bank authorized to contract with the service provider being notified. So, that's a lot of words. So remember, over the year, remember there was 1,200 exchangers who were nationwide, countrywide in Iraq that were going to go on strike. And then the representative met with Sadani and they didn't go on strike. Remember that? And then like 2 days later, they put the instructions on the CBI of how to become either an A, B, or C category. Remember? So they've done all that. They've had time. Those who are going to, they've had time to get licensed and be set up correctly. Now, also, we have digital payment services, right? I'm thinking maybe Zane. What's the other one? There's another one. I can see it all lit up, but I can't think. But so they have companies that provide digital payment services. So those brokerages and exchange companies can now align with the digital service providers to help the citizens go cashless, right? I mean, there's just no way around it. That's what they want, and that's where we're headed. But you see how everything has to be in line, right? They have to use headquarters, official branches, everything. And remember, maybe a week ago, there was a warning put out to the citizens saying, "Hey, if you're going to go do business, make sure the company's on our website." And then they had a list of the approved companies. So it's all lining up. But I don't want to get too excited. I don't want to get my heart broke again. But this is in black and white. It's here. They're lining up. They're telling the people, hey, we're going to do this. We're going to get off this auction. And then I'm hoping uh, in country, they're telling them, you're going to have a new rate. Now, the new money, so why did they waste all that money printing lower denoms if they don't want them using them? Well, they're still going to use it. That they're cash people. They're smart people, and I hope they can see the control that they give up if they do go specifically cash or digital payments, right? So this document was sent to electronic payment companies, exchange companies, and brokers for buying and selling currencies. Also, agents of digital payment service providers. It says, greetings. Given the availability, given the availability of all the requirements for appointing an agent mentioned in Chapter 2, blah, 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 controls for the work of digital payment service providers, agents for the year 2020. 2020! And given that the exchange companies of categories A, B, brokerage, and category C are licensed by this bank and subject to its supervision and control, the following has been decided. Number one, allowing exchange companies of categories A and B and brokerage C to contract with digital payment service providers. So there it is. The first part that I read to you was someone took all this legalese and put it in regular people speak, right? So yeah, so the good thing about this is, like I said, they're all set up and it's signed with appreciation. All right, and what's this? Nasif, government reforms contributed to Iraq's exit from foreign debt risks. Yeah, so she's saying, oh, this was why I have this here. Our economy has become more secure and not shackled by debt, she added, expressing her hope to move in the coming period from a rentier economy to a productive economy. So they're not using, what's the word? Open market or the other word I can't think. They're choosing to go with productive economy. But yes, yes, yes. So good article day. Good article day. Showing they're staying on track to stop the auctions. This is citizen education. They're purely, you know, educating the citizens. It is kind of rough, though, that they would do it right around this time when there's a lot of shopping. Um, so, yeah. But I'm happy. I'm happy with all of this. All right. So, yeah, we'll stop with that. Thank you for listening. I hope it was helpful. I know it's a lot of words, but if I don't read it to you, you're not going to read it. And if, that's why I go through and read it and point out what it's really saying. It's a lot of words, and this is what they're really saying. So I would, yeah, maybe share this. Say, look, see, they're still moving forward. I mean, there's one in there that says, no, it didn't stop today on the 23rd, but it is going to stop at the end of the month. So can't get any better than that. All right. And they're set up. They are set up to automatically handle things digitally. And then remember, I talked about them partnering with Saudi Arabia digitally. So see, they're moving them right along. All right. Thanks again. Accumulate while we wait for the rate to appreciate. Don't miss any meals and pay all your bills. And oh, people were going to be eating a lot. Even some of the provinces, no, governance, they're taking a 2-day holiday. 25th and 26th are a 2-day holiday. So for Christmas, right? All right. Yeah. So thank you. I hope this was helpful. I appreciate you listening. Wherever you are enjoying this content, if there's a like, join, subscribe, follow type of button, click that. Because I don't update regularly, but if you activate that, do whatever action is needed to activate that. If all things work like it's supposed to, when I do update, you'll be notified. Yeah. So, oh, I think I forgot to say, wherever you're listening to this or watching it, if there's an open info more description button, click that, and there will be a blog, a link to the blog. Okay, now I think I got everything in. All right, enjoy the rest of your morning, night, noon, whatever time frame you're enjoying this content, and maybe we'll do another post tomorrow. But if not, until next time.